Hello everyone and welcome to this video, the second video which I'm filming today. I'm going to be talking about my top 10 songs by XTC. Now, XTC are a band who I've kind of just recently really been getting into. Like, I think like they were incredibly like underrated. Like a lot of people like haven't like heard of them. Like they are like I would say like one of like the best groups like of like the late 70s, early 80s, and like even like into like the 90s, like still continued to make some like absolutely fantastic music. There's a few sort of like motivations like for doing this video. Like there's a documentary which has been on Sky Arts like a few times called XTC This Is Pop. That's a fantastic like documentary. The documentary kind of just like going through like their career, like really like entertaining watch. And like also like I wanted to shout out to James Griffiths, the Vinyl Professor's channel. Like I think around sort of Christmas time, done a top 10 Colin Moulding songs. Like Colin Moulding kind of being like sort of like the secondary songwriter like of XTC. Like James like showcased like his favourite like Colin Moulding songs, which I thought was a great video. Like I'll link that in the description. So I just thought that for today's top 10, like I would look at like all like the XTC songs, like including like Andy Partridge, like as well as Colin Moulding songs as well. And like also I just want to say like I haven't heard like every single like XTC record. Like these songs here, they were like all generally singles. Like they're all sort of like the more like well-known, like more sort of popular songs here. So like, there isn't like any sort of like real like deep cuts. Like I mean like this list like might change. That might change again like a few years time, like when I've heard and like bought like everything that they've ever put out. But right now, this is what it's currently looking like. So yeah, I'll just start the list at number 10. So yeah, number 10 is a song called Wrapped in Grey, which is from an album called Nonsuch. I think 1992 it came out. This is a brilliant ballad. This isn't like sort of like the typical like XTC like style song. Like this one's quite like influenced by like classical music, like but like also here like a lot of like Beach Boys like influence like as well, like in terms like of like the vocals. Like this song, it really reminds me like a lot like of like the Beach Boys song Surf's Up. Some great lyrics like on it as well, such as like your life is the big box of paints. Like, I mean, like it's just a lovely song. So yeah, like Wrapped in Grey is at number 10 on my list. I'd like that if we could. Next one is I Like That. This one is maybe the only song like which you would consider like a deep cut. This is from an album called Apple Venus Volume 1, which I think came out in like the late 90s. This song for me is like the greatest like sort of like Paul McCartney song like which like he didn't write. Like it's very like McCartney-esque, this track, like very like heart of the country, sort of like Blackbird style song, quite sort of like very melodic, like acoustic like style track. I think Partridge like does a great vocal like on this one. So yeah, like I'd Like That at number 9. And then going back to the early days of XTC for my choice at number 8, Life Begins at the Hop. I believe this one is from the Drums and Wires album, and like this is also like a Colin Moulding song. I just love the kind of like riff like on it, like what opens the track, like the drum sounds great as well. And like it is just like a fun song really, like again a very like melodic track. Like yeah, just a really fantastic song there, I think. Next one at number 7 is called Love on a Farmboy's Wages. This one, I think from 1983 this one came out. I love this track because it just kind of like musically like sort of paints like such like a vivid picture like in like your head. Like it's kind of like very like idyllic song, like reminds me like a lot of like the countryside and like basically like being like on like a farm, which like really matches like the content of the lyrics. And like that, yeah, just a really like lovely song there, I think. Next one on my list is called No Thugs in Our House, which is from the English Settlement album, possibly my favourite record like of theirs so far, like albeit like I have like only like got two XTC albums. This song is just brilliant. Like I love like kind of like the way like they use like a like acoustic guitar, but like it still sounds quite tough. like, and like quite like rocky like as well. Like the riff like is like just great, but also like melodically the song just works so well. Like the line like "No thugs in our house," we made that clear. We made little Graham promise us he'd be a good boy. Just such a sort of fun like lyric, really like quite oddball, but still really pleasurable to listen to that song. Next on number 5 is from the Skylarking record. This song is Earn Enough For Us. Not one of the singles from that record, like, but still a fantastic track. Like basically, like just about like lyrically, like just about sort of like trying to get by, like really kind of like I keep praying like all the week through that I can earn enough for us, like goes like the lyrics to this song. And like musically like as well, it's just so melodic, like quite sort of 60s like influence this track, but it doesn't sound dated like at all. Like this track doesn't sound like a 1986 track like by any means. It sounds like something like Blur could have done like in like the 90s, or even like an artist today could have put out. Like it's quite timeless like this song, but also like a lot of like XTC's stuff as well. So yeah, like Earn Enough For Us, brilliant track there at number 5 on my list. Number 4 is another Colin Moulding song, this one called Gencrals And Majors from the Black Sea album. This song is just such a bouncy track, I think. Like I love like the riff, it just sounds so like energetic, like so sort of like poppy. I think this was a single like as well, like actually like done like fairly okay like on like singles charts, and like again like such a wonderfully constructed track. Like love like the way it sort of like slows down a bit like for like the chorus line, but then like it picks back up again like for like the main like guitar riff. So yeah, Gencrals And Majors, fantastic song. Another Colin Moulding song is at number 3. This is King for a Day, which this is just for pop perfection, this song. I mean like this is one that sounds like an 80s song, like I will say that much, but it's just such a wonderful listen. It reminds me quite a bit of Tears for Fears, like also like what like James said like as well, like especially like the song like Everybody Wants to Rule the World, like but like actually like this track like I think like is maybe better than that song in like all honesty. I love the way like Andy Partridge like does like these sort of backing vocals like on it, like but they're still quite distinctive though. So yeah, like King for a Day, brilliant song there, absolutely fantastic songwriting there from Colin Moulding, probably my favourite song like off his. And then at number 2, got the song Respectable Street from the Black Sea record, the opening track to that album. And this song is sort of very 60s style, this track here. Like, it reminds me like a lot of like the Kinks, like it's almost like a long lost like Ray Davies track here, like just kind of like Partridge like talking like about like kind of like British suburban life really, like heard the neighbours slam their car door, like don't they realise is this respectable street. Like I love like that bit, and like also like the key change as well. Like XTC for me were kings like of like the key change. They could just like kind of whip one out like and it just like takes the song like to like a whole nother level. So yeah, Respectable Street, brilliant track there, number 2 on my list. And then your number 1 is, yeah, favourite XTC song is Senses Working Overtime. This one was their biggest chart hit, I think reached number 10, like in like the UK. And yeah, it is for me one of the best songs, like of like all time. Like it's just got like a bit of like everything like in it really. Like kind of like the verse is like a little bit like edgy, a little bit mysterious kind of thing. But then like sort of like the pre-chorus, like where like it's like where like there's a lot of tension, like and like all the world is birthday cake, it's just for me to feed my face. That bit sounds so good, and then like the actual chorus, it's just so catchy. Like the 1 2 3 4 5 senses working overtime. Brilliant rhyme, like brilliant like way, like he just like sort of like wrote it really. Like it's just an amazing song. That's not even mentioning like the middle 8th bit, like and yet again like another key change. Just yeah, a fantastic song really. Really like I mean like understand that why like it was like quite like a biggish hit for them, it is just a wonderful track. So yeah, that's me just looked at my personal top 10 XTC songs. I might be surprised that like some of like they're actually like more popular songs such as Making Plans for Nigel, Dear God, like Mayor of Simpleton, actually didn't make my list. But this was a very, very difficult one to come up with. Like some things had to be on it. Like some songs I could just wanted to put on, just because I think they are really underrated, even by XTC standards. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you all next time for the next video. Goodbye.